Alrighty guys, well today we're going to... Oh. Oh. Well, it's been a while. Today, we're going to be reviewing the PlayStation Vita. We cannot forget how good the Vita is. I mean, my god, it's got everything. From impressive home console conversions such as Borderlands 2, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Dead or Alive 5, Final Fantasy X X2 HD Remaster, and my most recent acquisition of this bundle, Assassin's Creed Chronicles. Uncharted Golden Abyss being a brilliant example, as with Killzone, same with Tearaway, and, well, Wipeout's kind of been obscured by the light here, but as you can see here, Wipeout is definitely another very good PS Vita exclusive, and we cannot forget one of my personal favorites, Freedom Wars. Sony, despite the fact you guys don't acknowledge the Vita anymore, you did pretty good. You had a nice first-party output. Now, before you go asking, where's Persona 4 Golden? It's supposed to be in a definitive list of RPGs. Well, I kind of gave it to a friend so he could play it for a little bit. But nonetheless, there are still some interesting RPGs. I mean, hell, there's a lot of them for this system. You can't undermine the sheer amount of RPGs for this system. Western and Japanese, I might point out. One Western example is Child of Light. Got a physical release for the Vita only, and it's actually a pretty good port on the Vita, if I say so myself. We can't forget the PS Vita exclusive Tales of Heart R, which is pretty decent too. Definitely an enjoyable PS Vita game. It's even got PS Vita TV compatible on the bottom here, but we're not reviewing the PS Vita TV. And then last on this list is Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1. I only have Rebirth 1, but these games, these have their little cult following. They're decent RPGs. Can't really complain about them, really, in the scheme of things. While we're at it, no one could quite forget the amazing Danganronpa series. I happen to own all the Danganronpa games. Yeah, I cannot recommend them enough. They definitely define a lot of what the Vita is, considering all three of these in the case of 2 and Ultra Square Girls are Vita exclusive. This is on PC now. There we go. More people get to see these amazing games in action. I definitely do recommend picking these up if you find them. And last but definitely not least, we definitely cannot forget the amazing Japanese output for the PS Vita. The PS Vita is regarded as a very good system in Japan. Tons of support for that system. We've got amazing imports from it too. Puyo Puyo Tetris being one of them, in my opinion. One of the best puzzle games ever. And a very good game, no matter which system you import it for. It's available on just about everything except for a PC. And it's definitely a very good game. We also cannot forget a great rhythm games like Hatsune Miku, but we can also acknowledge IAVT Colorful. IAVT Colorful is a very good import. It's just a lot of fun, really. And then God Eater 2. Well, there's God Eater 2 Rage Burst coming out this year, but I still wanted to import the original God Eater 2. And I'll tell you what, it is an amazing Monster Hunter-like game. There's a few of these on the system too. You've got Soul Sacrifice, you've got this, and you've got Freedom Wars. I mentioned Freedom Wars before. And then, like another localized, obscure Japanese game, we have Arquebus Trip Undead and Undressed, which I also own on PlayStation 4, but because this is a Vita review, we're showing off the Vita review. Well, not the Vita review, the Vita version. Nonetheless, still a recommended game, definitely a weird and wacky brawler. So yeah, there's a little something for everyone, really. So with all those very impressive handheld games, you might be wondering, what is the hardware behind this mythical beast? Well, it has a very dusty directional pad, or D-pad. Nonetheless, the D-pad is still very good. It's very clicky, very responsive, collects a lot of dust, but still functions very well, is perfect for just about every game you can think of, and is hands down one of the best directional pads I've ever used in a video game system ever. It's even got 2 thumbsticks, as you can see here, making it the first handheld system to have 2 thumbsticks, I'm pretty sure. The thumbsticks, yeah, they're pretty good actually. They work pretty well, and all the games that use them to their strengths use them very well for that matter. And I've got to turn on the brightness so you don't see my face. It's system buttons like the PlayStation button, select and start. They're very clicky and very responsive and never fail to work either. And of course, we cannot forget the even dustier face buttons, such as triangle, circle, square, and cross. They're very responsive, very clicky, and complement the D-pad and sticks very well. Even more so than the Nintendo Wii U's, which just kind of feel mushy. The gamepad's buttons feel kind of mushy, but we're not talking about the Wii U today. If you're looking for a camera in the market, I would definitely not recommend getting the Vita camera. They're 0.3 megapixels, and they sound very loud when you're taking a photo. I have no idea why that's the case, assumably something Japan related. And we've even got a rear touchpad. Let's not forget that while we're talking about the Vita's hardware. The touchpad, it's got a massive amount of scratches, and I'm not too sure why they're there, but it works. A lot of people say that it isn't very good, but I don't have a problem with it, honestly. it works fine, and it looks the whole system just looks really nice. And there's also a headphone jack at the bottom if you want to listen to. It's actually admittedly very good for listening to game audio and music. It's actually really solid. On the top we have a power button, 2 indicators indicating that you've received a message or a notification, and power. You have a cartridge slot in the very center, and you have 2 volume buttons, all of which they all work just fine. They're all pretty serviceable, really. You'd hope they would be. And of course, we cannot forget the shoulder buttons. Quite possibly the worst part of the Vita, really. They're not very good, really. They kind of work, but they're not great. They're a little bit stiff, and sometimes when I press them, they don't really work. It's kind of weird, actually. It's kind of a little bit unfortunate considering how good the rest of the package is. So the Vita's got a very good title of libraries, and the system's looking to have a healthy future, right? Well, as much as I'd like to say that, unfortunately that is not the case. Sony doesn't know what the Vita is. They've kind of like said, Vita? What's that? Oh, buy our PS4, which I kind of did. But, nonetheless, that does not mean that the Vita still has some great titles. You can't forget the indie games either. I have to point out that these are digital only, but you can't forget the indie titles either. Hotline Miami, Rogue Legacy, The Swapper. I have a few shining examples on here. There are a few weird and wacky ones, like Shitsumi. That's just weird. That's really weird. And the system, despite the lack of first-party support, has a very good third-party support output. Now, you might think, oh, okay, now if Sony's not supporting the Vita, well then is it worth buying a Vita in 2016? Or 2017 for that matter? You know what my response to that is? Fuck yes. Let me show you why in these next few clips. Well, we have Assassin's Creed Chronicles for the Vita, and honestly, it's a pretty bloody decent port. Might look a little bit on the bad side of things, but honestly, it runs fine, plays fine. The only Japanese import in this list, this is an amazing puzzle game. I seriously cannot recommend this game enough. It is so addictive and so much fun. It's on a lot of platforms too, so that's a plus. Rogue Legacy, very good roguelike game, kind of ironic considering its name. I really enjoy it, despite the fact I absolutely suck at it, but nonetheless, if you can get it cheap digitally, I would definitely recommend getting it. Very solid fighting game on the PS Vita is Dead or Alive 5. My god, is it solid. Runs at a perfect 60 FPS and looks absolutely astounding. Definitely do pick this up if you can find it in stores or digitally. Now, this is personally one of my favorite games of the lot. Earth Defense Force 2017 is an amazingly dumb fun game. I love the Earth Defense Force series, and seriously, this is an amazing addition to the series. It's on a portable. Earth Defense Force on a portable. What more could you ask for? Another one of my personal favorites, Freedom Wars. A bit like a Monster Hunter Soul Sacrifice to Godin kind of game. Really enjoyable though, very addictive to me personally. Definitely worth the money, and it's a very, very, very good game overall. Looks amazing, plays amazingly. I don't know, it's very addicting to me. And for that reason, it's hands down one of my favorite games on the Vita. That and Persona 4 Golden. Where's Persona 4 Golden? Where is it? Where? But how could we forget? How could we forget the PSP games and the PlayStation 1 games? But now we're focusing on PSP. Now, you see here, I might just have a small amount of PSP games. I have both the God of War games, Breath of Fire 3, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. There is a lot of PSP games you can buy here. A lot of very good ones. I even have Gran Turismo, but that's not installed because of memory card limitations. I mean, hell, there's even some really, really solid PlayStation 1 games. One solid example is Solid Snake's Metal Gear Solid, or Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid. But anyway, Ridge Racer Type 4, Crash Bandicoot, and Vagrant Story. And I've even got Final Fantasy VII for good measure too. Honestly, it's really impressive how they managed to get PS1, almost perfect PS1 emulation on a handheld. It just looks really good. Games look really clean and crisp. I'll show you some examples in the next few clips. Who cannot forget Crash Bandicoot? My god, Crash Bandicoot. Everyone knows that game. Shit, even my brother who doesn't play games that often, he knows Crash Bandicoot. And he can play it on the go. What more could you ask for? Now, this is actually my first Ridge Racer game, and I'm not usually a fan of these type of games, but this one just kind of like, wow. This is just absolutely amazing. Like, I suck at it, but I really like this game. This game looks awesome, and it plays so damn well. And it looks really good for a PlayStation 1 game as well. And it's on the go. What more could you ask for? It's absolutely amazing. It's like, oh my god. And last but not least, a PSP game, Star Wars Battlefront. This game is absolutely amazing. The PS2 conversion, 1-for-1 nearly, except for a few missing maps and of course like less map bots on both teams and all that. But regardless, it's in a very, very good port, and devs should be very proud of themselves for making such a good port. I honestly think, you guys, the fact that many Vita titles that I wish I could film, but I couldn't because I didn't want to make the video too long, is just a true testament to show how good this damn system is. Now, I would have Persona 4 here, but I'll let someone buy. So yeah, that's basically it. Oh, hang on, wait. The memory cards. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're a little bit on the pricier side, I will admit that. But if you're willing to get a 16 gig card, you can basically set yourself up with all this, because this is all on a 16 gig card. I've managed to fit all this on a 16 gig card. It's kind of impressive, really. And if you can find one for $20 like I did, you can't go wrong, because seriously, you can put quite a bit on with a 16 gig card, as you can see here. That's really the only downside, the pricey memory cards. I can't believe I forgot that. You know, I was thinking how good this damn system is with so many goddamn good games, PS1 and PSP games on the go. Well, PSP was a handheld anyway, but point is, it's just kind of like, well, how did I oversight that? Well, I guess it's just a testament to how good the system is when you forget one of the most jarring flaws until the very end of the video. Am I right, guys? So that leaves us with the ever-important question that will be answered once again. Is the PlayStation Vita worth it in 2016? I say, fuck yes. But it depends on what you guys say, because, you know, wouldn't be a video if you guys didn't have your own opinions on it. So, yeah, if you want to, you can leave a comment if you want. If you like what you're seeing, you can like or subscribe. I honestly don't mind what you do. It's up to you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, guys. It's been a pleasure doing this video, and I love the PlayStation Vita, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It's been a pleasure, and it's been a lot of fun doing this video for you guys. Okay, take care.